pictures were created back home. We've been trying to trace the original ones around the world, but it's way difficult. Some of the people, they know where they are, but they can let us know. For some of them, they know, but they wanted to keep it for themselves, so they can have it. But we got the most special thing here. We got Robert Louis Stevenson's house that was built by him, and we got his bones. It's right at the top of that mountain. Same goes with Fanny's ashes. So compared to what they have, I think we got the most special thing here. The only original thing you'll find this room here is the first original old safe from the corner. Robert Louis Stevenson used that safe to store his books, his money, anything that is more valuable to him. But you know, at that time, cars still don't exist in Samoa. People use only horses to travel from places to place. But you know, horses can never carry that safe, it's very heavy. But there were more than 50 strong boys. They could carry that safe from Api Hapa right here in Mailima. Quite very strong people, right? They say.
We got the same thing. We have like one of that at school. Yeah.
Do you guys have the same statue? Oh, that's nice. And the portrait hang up in the wall up here. This is one of the most famous portraits of Robert Louis Stevenson around the world. It was drawn by his closest friend. His name is Dr. Everett Scott. And it shows the two faces of him. Can you see it?
Yes. Is it the finger?
Not the thing. The face. The face.
Oh, the face. Yes.
You guys see any two faces?
He's smiling.
No. That's the one, which is the bright side and the dark side. The bright side, it says that Robert Louis Stevenson was a very friendly person and kind to. But the dark side, it shows that he was a very sick man. It mentioned the book of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Have you guys heard about that tale before? Recommend you to read it. And before Robert Louis Stevenson passed away, he made his two special wishes. The first wish is he wanted to be buried right at the top of Mountain Maya. So you can see a lot of visitors visiting Samoa. The last wish is he just wanted to die with his boots on his feet. People laugh at him and ask him why. He said, these are my same boots that I used to walk around here, are the same boots that he wanted to die with. Meaning he just wanted to die with the Samoan ways, also wanted to die with our people here in Samoa. That's the reason why he wrote one of his last few words. Those words, it's very special, they're very touching too, and they're quite very famous around the world. And it calls the Requiem. Have you guys heard about it before? And I've overheard that they do it in school. Trust me, there was a lot of Requiem reminding in college.
I forgot.
No?
I forgot.
Wow.
What was his last word?
Have you guys heard about the Requiem?
Is it the poem?
Yes, the
The
poem.
poem.
Do you know the
Yeah.
word? Sing it with me.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember, but yeah, I know something.
Don't lie. So these are the special words of him. It's right beside his tomb. So whenever you do the walk up there, these are the same words that is beside it. So, and it's a must for me to sing it. So if you know the words, please help me out. Alright, hopefully you're gonna enjoy the singing. Under the white and starry sky, dig the grave and let me lie. Glad did I live and gladly die, and I laid me down with the You could be the next Samoan idol. And every time we take tours inside the house, it's always been the must for our tour guides to sing the poem. You might be thinking and wondering, what are the good things that Robert Louis Stevenson did here in Samoa while he was still here in the island? Well, he did a lot of good things. First, Robert Louis Stevenson was the one who put Samoa on the map. Maybe that's the reason why we got a lot of visitors from overseas. And also remember, there were Germans here in Samoa trying to take over Samoa at that time. He was the only European person who could vote with our people, trying to help us with our independence. And also he was the one who wrote a letter and sent it over to Great Britain just to free us from the Germans who were here. And Robert Louis Stevenson was the only European person who could visit our people while they were in prison. He gave them food, blankets, water, everything. But he nearly got deported back to Scotland by doing that. But nothing can stop him. He says, if the Samoan people respected me and my family by the first time we came here in Samoa, we have to respect the people back. It's the sign of them to acknowledging all the other European people who were here in Samoa at that time, that violence is not a good thing. And that's the reason why he wanted to help our people out with our independence. And everyone, this is the last room of the house. This is the most special room of the museum. The reason why, because this is where Robert Louis Stevenson passed away, which is right in front of this door over here. In 1894, the 3rd of December, around 3 o'clock in the late afternoon, Robert Louis Stevenson was helping his wife Fanny with their family late dinner at that time. But he doesn't feel very well. Robert Louis Stevenson asked Fanny,
When did Robert Louis?
Oh my God.
1894.
just like I said before, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions about all the rooms. So you can't even ask me any questions, but I'll ask you. So try not to... as I mentioned it, as I said, where was I? Yeah, about the thing that Robert Louis Stevenson asked Fanny. So he asked her, Fanny, do I look okay? Fanny says you still look the same. Robert Louis Stevenson has to go with Fanny says. So while he was making his way inside the house, he collapsed right here and then he passed away right at that moment. Our people think that he fainted, but no, Robert Louis Stevenson is already gone at that time. They try to do everything, but nothing they can do. That's the reason why the high chief of this village over here, he was the one who wrote a letter and sent it to the four corners of Samoa. Let them know that Robert Louis Stevenson has passed away. So the people have to gather together. They started cutting down all the trees from the entry right at the top of Mountain Baia. In the early morning on the next day, our people lined from there. And they started taking Robert Louis Stevenson's body, hand by hand, until they made it into his rest place. Well, you imagine, it's very difficult to do that walk. It's very steep, and it would take them 45 minutes to do the walk. But to our people at that time, that doesn't matter. What matters is they had to fulfill Robert Louis Stevenson's wish, and they had to grant it. And that's the reason why they named that road as the Road of the Loving Heart, or in Samoa, Olealo Lealofa, to remember Robert Louis Stevenson's time here in Samoa. So, I have a question. How many rooms in the house?
8.
What was the first room?
Smoking room.
And
The library.
dining. What was yes, and because that the first room
and
got,
Margaret's first room, the receptionist.
you're not listening. That was the gift shop. The first room is the tapa room, the smoking room, and the dining room. Remember, there were 3 names. The second one
Library.
and
His bedroom.
his bedroom. There's no other room of his. The third one,
Fanny's room.
then fourth,
No.
Isabel,
Isabella and
and
Margaret.
the fifth one,
Margaret's room.
6,
Austin.
7.
Medicine room.
Right. So When did Robert Louis Stevenson pass away? 1894 in the dirt of December. Right, and what are his 2 wishes? To be very, very right. What makes him come here in Samoa?
The weather.
The climate.
Yeah, what's up with the weather?
Dry weather.
It's humid.
Humid.
For what?
His lungs.
Right. But what did he die of?
Brain hemorrhage.
Brain hemorrhage? Apoplexia. Right. So, whereabouts in Scotland is he from?
Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. Right. That's good. You were taking notes. All right. What was Fanny's Samoan name? What about Isabel's name? Why Margaret always complain about Samoa? Right. Well, I'm done. So, you guys have any questions? All right.
I'm sorry to be a pain, but I want to ask you guys a question again. So are all your lessons in English or some of them in Samoan? All in English.
All in English.
Oh, okay. Right. So is English your first language?
No,
Samoan is your first language. And you're taught in English. Okay. Thank you.
You guys have any questions? All right. Well, right now we're coming right in the photo tour. On behalf of my manager and these men over here and all the tour guides in the house, we would like to say thank you for coming and enjoying the study life. And maybe we'll be expecting you some other day. Come back here for your assessment. So enjoy the rest of your day and yeah, God bless and so far so good. Pardon? Oh, there's nothing inside there. Just have a wandering around, but it's locked. Can we go outside? Yeah, we can just look at outside. Are we allowed to?
I'm not going to do that. You know what
Anya song? Oh, that was
I feel I'm losing an IA.
You took the photo?
Just record. Oh, you have to check this one.
It's a fancy one. Like this? Oh shit, that is fun. Dan slappen we staan al met toren. She does not want me away.